Graded stakes racing continues, and this time we go to the city of brotherly love for the Grade 1 Cotillion Stakes. 3-year-old fillies. It's going to be on Saturday, all part of a 14-race card at Parx Racing. It includes the Pennsylvania Derby. We've already got a preview up of that race, and the Cotillion Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. 8.5 furlongs, 1.16 miles, Grade 1, and it's going to go as race 12, part of a double that includes the Cotillion into the Pennsylvania Derby. It did draw a field of 9 horses, including a couple of recent winners that were very impressive, and a 3-time Grade 1 winner. Let's take a look at the 9-horse field, starting off with Foggy Night. Big win last time out at Parx. Has 6 starts at Parx, 3 wins and 3 seconds. Ceiling Crusher. 6-length win at Del Mar, ships in from the West Coast for trainer Doug O'Neill. Then you've got Pretty Mischievous out of post position number 3, a 3-time Grade 1 winner. She won the Kentucky Oaks, she won the Acorn, she won the Test. She seems to be very versatile, and she's going to try to win a 4th Grade 1 in the 1.16 miles Cotillion Stakes. Hoosier Philly, big name as a 2-year-old, disappointed a little bit this year, scratched out of the Charlestown Oaks. She comes in here, couple of workouts, a big win in the Monomoy Girls Stakes at Churchill Downs. She does her best running on the front end, wheeling and dealing. Occult, a 10-length winner of the Monmouth Oaks, came from off the pace, made a quick move into contention. The daughter of Into Mischief won by 10 at Monmouth. Meanwhile, Just Catherine, 6 for 7 in the money, draws post position number 6, should be able to sit just off the pace. Defining Purpose, a Grade 1 winner in the Ashland Stakes. Ken McPeak also sent this one out to win the Indiana Oaks. Defining Purpose should get a good trip from just off the pace. Meanwhile, you've got Imanra, 2nd in the Iowa Oaks, going up in class, facing other Grade 1 horses. And then on the outside, post position number 9, 3rd in the Catherine Sophia Stakes, the prep race at Parx. That's Majestic Creed. She is going to try to work out a trip from that 2nd flight. So, a Grade 1 winner in Pretty Mischievous. Hoosier Philly, also a multiple stakes winner, and a recent stakes winner in Occult. A very competitive field for the Cotillion. Always a nice race. You see what they can do against other 3-year-olds. It is a Grade 1 before they go either sometimes to the Spinster Stakes or they train up to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. And of course, the older horses this year definitely probably have an advantage looking at some of the speed figures for the Distaff possible contenders. Hoosier Philly going to try to wheel and deal on the front end. Occult improving in class. Top contenders on the board. I think you've got Foggy Night, a nice win at Parx. Pretty Mischievous, 2-1 in the morning line. She'll probably be closer to 6-5. Hoosier Philly probably 7-2. Occult more likely 5-1. And then Just Catherine. Those are some of the top contenders for the Cotillion Stakes in 2023. Let's go to the race replays, take a look. Starting off with Occult. She won the Monmouth Oaks the last time out, trained by Chad Brown. He does well with 3-year-old fillies. 3rd in the Acorn. Irad Ortiz gets on after that big win the last time out. Occult, let's take a look at her. Makes that move from 5th place. She's on the far outside here, comes into the stretch, takes the lead, and then really just explodes down the lane. It seemed like she found another gear. This is a horse who's lightly raced, and Occult definitely capable of coming back-to-back wins after that nice win at Monmouth. Let's go to Hoosier Philly. She's got speed. Here she is, the gray, at Churchill Downs, takes the lead, the field early on the lead, gets to the turn, still in the lead, goes wire to wire, backs up a big win, and draws off late in the race, kind of eased up for Hoosier Philly. She prefers to run her best races on the front end. She has Grade 1 class. Pretty Mischievous, let's take a look at her wins. A nice win at the Kentucky Oaks. We'll go 3 races back. She's in the Blue Silks for Godolphin. Kind of takes the lead, had to stretch her distance all the way to 1.1 miles, held off a couple of closers in that race, but Pretty Mischievous, a 3-time Grade 1 winner and looking for Grade 1 win number 4. She's been going 7 furlongs. She's gone a mile. She's gone 1.1 miles, tries to go 1.16 miles. Then the 4th one to take a look at here is Defining Purpose. We're going to go back to the Indiana Oaks. She finished first in that race. She also won the Ashland Stakes, but here got the jump on Taxed, who was 4-5 in that race. Defining Purpose, a nice win for trainer Ken McPeak. Those are some of the top contenders for the Cotillion Stakes. You know, taking a look at the pace, I think overall it's going to be moderate. I think Hoosier Philly can set fast fractions and still run. I think she's going to try to slow him down. I don't think anybody's going to want to tackle her early on, maybe until really that 4 to 6 furlong mark. The race flow favors a little bit of the off-the-pace runners. That could be Foggy Night, Defining Purpose, and Occult, because they could get good first runs off the pace. Pretty Mischievous has been a little bit flexible. She can be near the pace. She can be a little bit further back. I think she's going to come from a little bit further back here in the Cotillion Stakes, coming from off the pace. Now, when you look at it on paper, I think Hoosier Philly, definitely the one to be taking that lead early. Your presser is going to be Defining Purpose, Just Catherine, Occult, and Foggy Night. Pretty Mischievous coming from mid-pack, but really the fractions are going to be the key to this race. Hoosier Philly likes to set 47, maybe even as slow as 48. That's where she's comfortable. She can set 112. She could be strong on the front end. Pretty Mischievous wants it a little bit faster. I think Occult, another daughter of Into Mischief. Of course, her and Hoosier Philly are both by the super sire Into Mischief. He gets a lot of speed runners and a lot of horses that can get that mile and a 16th distance. Pace could be key. I think it's going to be moderate pace, but Hoosier Philly could be the lone speed on the front end. Different ways you could go in this race. Most likely favorite is going to be Pretty Mischievous at about 6-5, maybe 7-5. I think Hoosier Philly at 7-2. My top selection is going to be a horse who I think is on the improve. I was very impressed with the Colts win at Monmouth. She showed some talent early this spring. They gave her a little bit of time off, and Chad Brown likes to reel off some wins in a row with his 3-year-old fillies. I'm going to play Occult and Exactas over Pretty Mischievous, Foggy Night, and Defining Purpose. I think Defining Purpose can get a good trip in this race coming from off the pace. Big day of racing at Parx. You've got the Cotillion Stakes. I've also got a preview up of the Pennsylvania Derby. We'll see who goes favorite in that one, but more than likely you've got an 11-horse field for that Pennsylvania Derby, and I picked a little bit of a long shot in that race, but we'll see if Bob Baffert can pick up another win with Reincarnate, or if it's going to be another horse based on the East Coast, and we'll see what happens in the Pennsylvania Derby. Overall morning line, Foggy Night 12-1, Pretty Mischievous 2-1, Hoosier Philly 6-1. I think she'll be lower than that. Occult probably 5-1, and then Majestic Creed a 30-1 shot on the outside. A good rendition of the Cotillion Stakes. Upcoming previews, we've got the Awesome Again, Keeneland Futurity, Champagne, the Alcibiades for 2-year-old fillies as the 2-year-old stakes races get into gear. Then don't forget, we've got our Breeders' Cup updates and the Foxes of Bel Air, a good book interview with Jennifer Kelly. She talks about Omaha and Gallant Fox, their trips through the Triple Crown. She also wrote Sir Barton, the making of a Triple Crown winner. Check out that interview and the book, The Foxes of Bel Air. Lots to think about in the Cotillion Stakes. Hoosier Philly, the lead coming into the stretch. Who do you like in the Cotillion Stakes? Leave a comment as we get you ready for the 2023 Breeders' Cup.